You never guessed that one of the first major companies pushed to the brink by the Russia-Ukraine war would be a Chinese one. Tsingshan Holding Group, the world's stainless steel giant. It all started on the London Metal Exchange. On March 7, the price of nickel skyrocketed by 110% in a single day, and surged 247% over 2 days, hitting a historic high. Why? Tsingshan, a major nickel producer, had taken out massive short positions around 200,000 tons as a hedge against price drops. It's a standard move for a physical business to manage risk. Then, they were cornered. The Swiss commodity giant Glencore seized an opportunity created by the war. Russia is a top 5 global nickel producer and the world's largest exporter of nickel plates. A key deliverable product on the LME, when reports emerged that Russian nickel might be banned from the exchange. It created a perfect storm. In a short squeeze, you need to be able to buy back the metal you sold short. Suddenly, the biggest supplier was potentially cut off. The available physical nickel dried up, and the price went parabolic. Tsingshan faced paper losses of up to $16 billion, threatening its very existence, with rumors that Glencore might demand its strategic nickel mines in Indonesia as a settlement. But the story didn't end there. In a dramatic turn, Tsingshan managed to secure enough physical nickel in China to meet its obligations, facing pressure from other Western banks and funds also caught in the short squeeze. The LME took the unprecedented step of canceling all nickel trades on March 9. Tsingshan survived. But the message was clear. If it weren't a Chinese company with state backing, it would have been decimated. Welcome to the real world of economic warfare. The sanctions on Russia are historic, but their true objective is often misunderstood. This isn't just about punishing Russia. It's about reshaping global supply chains and securing strategic advantages. Let's talk about the so-called financial nuclear weapon. Cutting Russia off from SWIFT, while disruptive, it's not a death blow. SWIFT is essentially a messaging system, not the money itself. It's like taking away a bank's email and forcing it to use fax machines, cumbersome and slow, but not impossible. Russia had already developed its own system, SBFS, for this very scenario. Furthermore, key Russian banks handling energy payments were left connected to SWIFT. Why? Because Europe still needs Russian gas. And this is where the real game begins. The ultimate goal for the United States is to dismantle Europe's energy dependence on Russia and replace it with American liquefied natural gas, or LNG. Russian pipeline gas has long been cheaper and more convenient for Europe. The U.S. LNG industry, burdened by higher production and shipping costs, couldn't compete under normal circumstances. The war changed everything by provoking a crisis and leading the charge on sanctions. The U.S. effectively forced Europe to seek alternatives to Russian energy. Overnight, the European market, representing hundreds of billions of dollars, was pried open for American LNG. This move wasn't just about profits. It was about salvaging the entire U.S. shale industry. For years, the shale sector has been a ticking time bomb of junk debt, reliant on constant investment. If the Federal Reserve raised interest rates to combat inflation, it could have triggered a wave of bankruptcies in this over-leveraged sector. But with Europe now as a guaranteed high-value customer, the U.S. shale industry is transformed from a liability into a gold mine. This provides the economic stability the U.S. needs to aggressively hike interest rates, attract global capital back to Wall Street, and potentially weather the storm of inflation, all while consolidating control over Europe's energy lifeline. In the end, the sanctions, the market chaos, and the geopolitical posturing are all moves in a much larger game. The immediate target was Russia, but the ultimate prize was Europe's energy independence and the stabilization of the American economy. The one variable not fully accounted for in this grand strategy: China. Just as the LME and Glencore didn't anticipate China's state reserves backing Tsingshan, the West is now facing a peer competitor with its own vast resources, industrial capacity, and strategic resolve. The next phase of this conflict will not be fought in the trenches of Ukraine, but in the global competition for resources and economic dominance.